Hello guys, and welcome back to Most Coasters. Today I'm going to be comparing two of the best amusement parks in the country, Six Flags Magic Mountain and Cedar Point, to find out which one is truly the best. And I think viewers of this channel will know that I am partial to one of the parks, but I am going to try and stay impartial to really figure out which is the better park. Let's get straight to today's video. Now, most channels that review or compare parks use some sort of point system. I'm not going to use that. I think it is more effective for me personally to just talk about a park, and it'll help viewers kind of figure out what things they like about a park and actually genuinely make a decision. And that's for me too. It helps me actually figure out which park I prefer. Now let's start with our first category, I guess. We're going to talk about the coasters. That is what this is all about. That's what's been debated for the longest time, is which park has the superior roller coasters. So let's start with Six Flags Magic Mountain. They have a long list of 20 roller coasters, and while I personally only got to ride 12 of them, no, 13 of them. After checking with the all-knowing gods of my Google spreadsheet, I can confirm it is 13 coasters at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Meanwhile, I rode 17 coasters at Cedar Point. So with Magic Mountain, their coasters, they have such great variety, is what's incredible, is they have not the best quality in every category, right, but they have tons of different categories. You're never going to really experience the same type of feeling on a coaster. Meanwhile, talking about Cedar Point, they have a lot of very similar coasters. And I know I didn't say this before, I'd also say they have a pretty outdated lineup. Like a pretty old coaster lineup. If you look across their park, they have a lot of old and historic coasters, and it's cool, but I definitely think Magic Mountain has a more modern collection, in my opinion. So if we're looking at all of these factors, I personally think that Six Flags Magic Mountain has the superior coaster lineup. I know that the top four at Cedar Point is frankly unmatched anywhere. Steel Vengeance, Top Thrill Dragster, Maverick, and Millennium Force. 4 fantastic coasters. But I think that's the problem with Cedar Point, is they're so top heavy. You end up waiting 2 hours for those 4 rides, and Magic Mountain just has so much better balance, in my opinion. Now we're going to move on to other rides, because I think that's also extremely important. It's not just about the coasters, we're talking about the parks as a whole. So Six Flags Magic Mountain, I'm just going to keep starting with that park, has a pretty good variety of flat rides. They've been updating it the past few years. I think of rides like Crazanity, which is a great thrill ride, not for kids, but a great new addition. And I think the park has a very large kids area that is dedicated solely towards kids, and I think that's fantastic. Cedar Point, meanwhile, has a much larger collection of family and kid attractions, and I think that is very valuable. They also have a large amount of thrill attractions, and I've probably gotten to experience more of Cedar Point, so I probably know more about what they have to offer, but I think overall it is a park more meant and geared towards families. I think that is extremely important when we're talking about other rides besides coasters, is you have to gear towards all audiences. Coasters in general, geared towards thrill seekers. You can have family coasters. Both parks have a fair amount of family and kid coasters. Six Flags Magic Mountain having 4 I couldn't experience, that's annoying. But I would say Cedar Point as a whole has a much better family ride and kiddie ride collection. I mean, if I look at their little Fantasy Kingdom, I believe it's called, kids section, it has a crazy amount of just repeat attractions meant for kids. Now, I don't think they're all open. It's just the truth. When I've been there, I don't think they staff every single one of those kids rides, but they still have such an incredible amount of variety of attractions, and I think that is awesome, personally. They have been removing some of their older ones, but they have also been recently updating some of their attractions. Now, let's move on to food. You can tell when you're visiting a park whether you're getting great value or not. At Six Flags Magic Mountain, I had just one meal. The other meal we ate outside the park from our car, because that's a cheaper way to do it, right? And I did decide to splurge for the bottle. I think that was a good decision, actually, at the end of the day. At Cedar Point, I had probably many more meals. At one of my visits, I believe the first of my 2, I visited both Kings Island and Cedar Point, and then ended up getting the meal deal at both parks, which actually made sense for us, for me and my dad. You can get a meal every 90 minutes, and basically you can have as many meals as you want, which I think is really cool and a great thing that I hope theme parks keep around. I think Six Flags' little one meal, one snack, one dessert is not good. It is bad. I hate that. I think the 90-minute rule is good, and I think most people forget about using it, whereas I was very vigilant about let's get our meals every 90 minutes. It makes sense. So at Cedar Point, I had a pretty good variety. It has been a while since I did that, so all I really remember is like the Chick-fil-A, and I ate a mac and cheese somewhere, so I can't really truly speak on the quality of both of these parks, but if it was extremely good or extremely bad, I would remember it. I know that for a fact. Six Flags was actually surprisingly good. It was a Chop Six, so it's one of their little chains, but it was actually pretty good quality food. I was not disappointed. I've heard people have bad experiences with food, but this park, they did it pretty well at Six Flags Magic Mountain. And the meal drink, as I said, I felt like I got my value. I was able to use it around the park a bunch of times. I probably filled it 10 times maybe. And you could get it at any restaurant. There weren't too long of waits for it. Employees were happy to fill it for me. I think that's great. I think my meal and the drink bottle both worked out fantastic. Actually, I got my meal while waiting for X2 to open because it was closed, and then that worked out perfectly. I think my day at Magic Mountain was just a really good day, despite not getting on all their coasters because some of them were closed. Cedar Point, as far as meals go, was pretty similar. I think it was nice to have the bigger quantity of meals, especially getting that meal deal, which I didn't get at Magic Mountain. I think that their meals are also average, if not above average. I'm pretty sure I had Subway, Chick-fil-A, and some sort of barbecue thing, and I think from my memory, all of those were pretty good. I can't specifically speak on it because it was multiple years ago, but definitely pretty good quality food. Solid all around. The final factor is experience. While there's a lot of things that kind of go into this category, I'm just going to share some specific anecdotes and opinions on both of these parks. So let's start with Magic Mountain. So the biggest thing I was angry about on my visit was probably the merch. That was at the end of the day. It ended up being okay, but I wanted to find a good sweatshirt to ride this park. I had just finished Full Throttle. I was like, I'm going to find a sweatshirt and get out of here. When I went to the front of the park searching for merch, it was not good. I was not happy. The options were not there. I did not find something I liked. That's the negative. So I walked around the park. I stopped at about 3 different stores. It was only when I finally reached the gift shop right by West Coast Racers, actually, in the back of the park, because I walked all the way around the park, that I found a really nice sweatshirt. And actually, positive here is the employee kind of helped me throughout the story. He was like, I was trying to find merch. I was telling him I just want something that has Magic Mountain on it and it looks nice, and he helped me find this sweatshirt. It's a nice light blue sweatshirt that I really do like. So it was kind of a negative and positive. The employees are really nice, and employees in all the stores were kind of nice. I asked them where to find what I wanted, and they're like, oh, we don't have it here, you might want to try this store. They were all trying to be helpful. The merch selection was not there, though. I've already talked about that in my review video, so I'm not going to bring it up as much here. I guess I already did. Cedar Point, on the other hand, is the opposite. I don't think I engaged with their employees a ton. Like, the food service staff were nice, but I don't really count that because they're just serving me food, right? I'm talking about specific interactions, me talking with an employee, and I don't think I have the best track record there. So the 2 negative experiences I've had, one wasn't actually me, it was my sister. When I was there back in 2018, she went along with me and my dad, right? And she went to ride the Ferris wheel, and basically they excluded her because she was alone, because we were off riding some coaster and she wanted to ride the Ferris wheel. They excluded her. That is really irritating and bothers me for a family park to exclude somebody, or even a park to just exclude a guest at all is not good. One other negative experience I had is just with Steel Vengeance. So I went in 2020, that's my most recent visit, 3 years ago, so that's still a while. And I think the thing I didn't like here was, first off, in 2020, there was all the pass system. It was really irritating. You have to go to a ride, grab a pass, and then come back later. That's irritating. Code restrictions, I understand it. What the problem was for me was with Steel Vengeance and the locker policy. It was like every 2 seconds. They hadn't implemented the lockers they have now, so you basically have to go grab a ticket, and then when you come back, you had to put your stuff in a locker and get in line. It's really irritating to do like 10 different steps just to get into like a still hour-and-a-half line to ride a coaster. It pissed me some word off, right? And I didn't really like that. That was really irritating. Definitely my most negative experience there. So those were definitely some 2 negative employee experiences. If we're talking about merch selection, it was fine. It was good. I mean, I bought a shirt. The first store I went into, I found a shirt and a hat. I liked them. I bought them. I think the thing is, I don't really wear those anymore, and I wear my Six Flags Magic Mountain sweatshirt. So you tell me which is better. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, that is my opinion about those experiences about employees and merch, which are just two other things. Now, if we're looking at some other experiences, I do have one more positive, and it's from Magic Mountain. So basically, I was getting on Twisted Colossus. I saw the open row, and I was deciding whether I was going to sit down and take it again, right, or leave. The employee basically encouraged me to take the extra spot, go again, all that stuff, and that was really nice. And then he encouraged me to do it again, and I got a third ride. He encouraged that, and that was nice, especially because both times he gave me like 5 inches of airtime, right? Maybe not that much, that's a lot, but he gave me airtime, and that was nice, because usually I'm used to theme park attendants not really caring, shoving down your lap bar and all that. So that's one more little positive experience. I think in general, my experiences were more positive at Six Flags Magic Mountain than they were at Cedar Point, but that can't be all that goes into whether you prefer a park. So here's my conclusion. In general, I think I preferred Six Flags Magic Mountain more. Cedar Point as a park is fantastic. I see why audiences like it. Thrill seekers, you have 4 of the best coasters in the world that easily make my top 15. And a lineup in general that is really, really good. Then you've got a large amount of kids and family attractions for all ages. That is great. I just had a few negative experiences that soured my taste on this frankly amazing theme park. It's a great location. It has a lot of great attractions, but I think I just in general prefer Six Flags Magic Mountain. First off, the setting of Magic Mountain I actually find to be more beautiful with the hill situated in the center and attractions coming off of it. I think there is some repairing and new attractions definitely necessary at Magic Mountain. I prefer a pretty good all the way through lineup than a very top heavy one, and I think I prefer a park that has maybe slightly greater value than Cedar Point's overpriced and longer lines, in my opinion. So that's my conclusion. I think Six Flags Magic Mountain is the better park. You may completely disagree. Please put that in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time here on Midwest Coasters. Goodbye.